Take on the bailout plan, where it stands this evening. Both John McCain and Barack Obama, as we mentioned, participated in today's meeting at the White House with congressional leaders and the president. Did their presence help or hurt the talks today? Democrats, as you heard from Leader Hoyer, said John McCain's presence, perhaps a problem, slowed progress towards a deal. For a response to that, I'm joined by one of John McCain's top economic advisors, John Taylor. He's a professor of economics at Stanford and a former undersecretary of the Treasury. He joins me now here in our Washington bureau. Thanks for joining us.
Good to be here, Peter.
Let me get, first of all, your take, the McCain campaign's take on what's happened this evening to these talks. Do you all feel like the deal is broken down, if there was a deal to begin with?
I think Senator McCain being here is making the possibility that we're going to get some kind of a agreement here, and it's very important we do. That's why he has suspended his campaign, and why we need to, just as you see with the WAMU case, need to recognize this is a serious crisis here, and government action is necessary, and it's required that people are here actively pushing towards an agreement.
Can you tell us at this point what John McCain favors in terms of a solution here?
Sure.
He doesn't appear to have backed fully Secretary Paulson's plan as it was first outlined. Doesn't appear to be supporting what Democrats have offered as their alternative. Now there's a House Republican alternative as well. Is that where John McCain might be on this?
Well, you know, he's laid out his principles really before the Treasury plan was put out in the speech back in Green Bay last Friday, where he emphasized the importance of an oversight process, oversight board. That wasn't in the original Treasury proposal. The importance of accounting, the importance of making sure that the taxpayers' funds are recovered, and making sure that all happens is an important part of his principles. And he wants to make sure the legislation has those things, mostly to protect the taxpayers' money. It's a lot of money, $700 billion in control of one person. So those are the principles he laid out. He had a plan that was effective in terms of protecting the taxpayers' money. But that's the important thing now, making sure that you get an agreement that satisfies these principles, and moreover, that you can get people to agree on.
Does he agree with the clock that's been set by the Treasury Secretary, by the Fed Chairman as well? They wanted a deal by Friday, and the suggestion in their testimony the last 2 days is that serious repercussions to the U.S. economy, to financial markets around the world, could result if there isn't a deal in place. Does John McCain believe that, or does he believe there could be more time here?
You know, the sooner the better. I mean, we all recognize the sooner the better. This is an important time in our history, and Senator McCain has, I think, quite courageously suspended his campaign to make sure that we get an agreement as soon as possible. People are now talking about trying to make sure that the whole deal is wrapped up before the markets open on Monday, but I think some sense of an agreement before all the details is possible, hopefully before then.
There, again, we heard Leader Hoyer, we heard other Democrats in even more strident terms tonight say John McCain was the problem here. We were headed towards a deal. He showed up, and he blew this thing up. You want to respond to that directly?
Absolutely not. There was no deal in sight. You had a lot of people objecting to it.
Catch your voice here. I know you got
a lot of people objecting to it, and it was a long way off.
Yeah. Tell me about what happens now. Is he going to stay in Washington? If you know at this point, all this talk about the debate tomorrow night. He suspended his campaign, said he was prepared to delay the debate. Is he going to debate Barack Obama tomorrow night?
Well, we'll have to see if there's an agreement of some kind, and we're making progress towards that agreement. That's the most important thing, for him to make sure that we get the agreement legislation, because this is a crisis in our markets, and we've got to get to agreement. And his being here as part of this is essential. You know, it's a practical thing. It's on the ground. It's operational. It's bipartisan, and that's what he's here for.
Yeah, and does he feel confident right now that that there is at least a framework for an agreement of any type, given some of the words we're hearing tonight from Democrats?
We'll have to see. I'm not in the negotiations. I'm here with you,
yeah.
And of course you can't talk about people's positions in negotiations at this point in time.
All right. And again, your own sense, you worked at the Treasury Department. You know what's going on in world markets right now. You watch it from your vantage point at Stanford as well. How dire is this situation right now? Do the American people, do they have a full comprehension of what's at risk?
Well, I think we're trying to tell them, and a lot of people are telling them. You know, I look at financial markets a lot. I deal in money markets and credit markets. I've never seen anything like this. It's a very unusual thing. Spreads have increased, and that's going to cause possible problems with respect to credit and a slowdown in the economy if it's not dealt with.
Yeah, and right now we've got, let me ask you one aspect of this. $700 billion, as you said, it's a tremendous amount of money.
Yes,
there were
sure.
Republicans on the Hill tonight saying it's too much. Democrats said maybe we could do this in installments, maybe $150 billion, $250 billion, and then they can come back and check on things when...
Those are the kind of things that people should be talking about.
Is that something John McCain would be supportive
well,
of? Do you know
people should be talking. It's maybe a way to get an agreement, but that's the kind of thing that you should be considering if you want to get more people supported. But right now, the package is not supported by enough to pass, and so looking for these alternatives is very important.
All right. Listen, John Taylor, I want to appreciate you joining us very much here this evening on Money and Politics. The McCain campaign's view of what's going on with this bailout situation.